Dumelang, kgotsong. I hope you are enjoying your holidays. Here we are going to do financial mathematics. We are going to start with the explanatory part, where we are going to outline some keywords and concepts. So we'll take this topic at different levels. So we're going to start with the grade 11 financial maths, because that is when you'll be able to transform and understand the concept of grade 12. So now, when we talk of finance, we are mostly talking about the usage of money. We are talking about tjhelete. So now, as much as we are talking about financial maths, as much as we are talking about finance, we must know that there are two types of interest that one may gain when saving money or actually taking an investment. So the first one is simple interest. So we have simple interest. Sometimes it can be used as hire purchase. Sorry, not hire purchase, but hire purchase. So someone can say instead, ashimisha the word hire purchase, or simply straight line interest. So now, if we are talking about simple interest or hire purchase or straight line interest, we should understand that the value of money can either appreciate or depreciate. So when we say that the value of money is appreciating, it means that is increasing. The value of money is increasing. And when we say is depreciating, it means that the value of the investment or the value of money is now decreasing. So how do we differentiate this? Because now we need to know the formula that defines the simple interest or the hire purchase. So now, here it means that we are going to check, what do we mean by simple interest? Simple interest is defined by A equals to P into 1 plus or minus I multiplied by N. Now we're going to break down this and be able to tell each and every element that is here. So apart from simple interest, we have compound interest. So a compound interest, sometimes one can, in most cases, you'll find them using a reducing balance. A reducing balance. If not a reducing balance, they will use the term book value. book value, or scrap. So all these terms, they are talking about the same formula or the same definition in this case. So meaning that more like on simple interest, the value of money can either appreciate or depreciate. So now we'll check, or if we are saying, or we have a reducing balance, book value, or scrap value. Now, are we talking about appreciation or depreciation now? So that is when we are going to check or now. But these terms, all of these terms, formula di nyaka efe. And then when you talk about a compound interest, someone can, instead of using the compound interest, I will allow this an exponential interest. So it's compound interest or simply exponential interest. So, but now this is defined by A is equals to P 1 plus minus I to the power of N. The reason why we say it's exponential interest is because it has got the exponent N. Now from here, we need to break down these two formulas. But when we break down, the compound, the simple interest and the compound interest, the only difference is that here the N is inside the bracket, but here N is outside the bracket and now is an exponent. So, but the meaning of the variables here and the meaning of the variables there are the same. So we also need to check, or now what are the meanings behind these variables that we have. Now we have A. A is our accumulated amount or accumulated value. Accumulated value. So accumulated value, it tells you that it's something that you accumulate, something that you gain, something that you gain. So when you gain, it means that you have something already, but now after some time, that amount that you have has now increased. So now we say it's an accumulated value because you gained a certain amount from what you already had. Then P is our principal amount. So it's a principal amount or simply the present amount that you have. If you want to open an investment, you open an investment having something in your hand, because you can't go to the bank and say, I want to do an investment, and they ask you, yabo guy, then you say you're 200, whereas you don't have 200 with you. So rather that 200 that you have in your pocket and on your Google investment, that 200 is referred to as principal amount. Now from there, we have I. 1 is 1. We can't talk about 1. 1 is a number, therefore, it's not a variable. I is our interest. Now, this I has got a sub-formula into it. It's defined by I is equals to R over 100 multiplied by M. So to explain or now, what does that mean? Now, in this case, R is the interest rate. And the interest rate is mostly given in percentage. in percentage. So they will give you R, but this R they're going to give you in terms or in the form of percentage. So meaning that every time when you have the interest rate, got the percentage. But now we also have M. So before like M, let me talk about N. Because I want more N. And then even if Ushumisha the simple interest, you have N there. Now, N, what's Ushumisha or the number of years. But N on its own, N is the formula that says T multiplied by M. Now, we have to break down this formula N. It's about T emerging. T in this case is the number of years. And then M is the number of times per year the interest is added. This is the number of times per year the interest is added. Can I go to explain this part? So when we say the number of years, if you're saying that you invest 200 for a period of 4 years, it means that T imagine that 4 years. But now we need to know now, how many times in a year are you going to gain your interest? If 200 it will gain the interest, it gain that is where the M comes in. So this one tells you now how many times in a year is your interest going to be added. So now, if okay, if we are saying that we have M, now what's M? As much as imagine the number of times per year in which the interest is added, what is the meaning behind this? Is that if we are saying that the interest is added once in a year, we go at the term annually, per annum, yearly. This one they can say P dot A, what's what it refer to per annum. So if they say the interest is added annually, per annum, or yearly, what's what the value of M is equals to 1. And if they say that the interest rate is added half yearly, semi-annually, this means that M is equals to 2. Now they can say that the interest is gained or is added quarterly. How many quarters do we have in 1 year? It means that our M is equals to 4. If they say that the interest is added monthly, this means that our M is equals to 12. And it They will tell per annum. Okay? If you're using compound interest, they will say that the investment 6%, for example, compounded annually, compounded monthly, compounded quarterly, or compounded semi-annually. Then the word compounded, we are using a compound interest. Now, apart from that, they can say that your interest is gained weekly. So question is, how many weeks do we have in a year? Therefore, it means that our M is equals to 52. Or it can be daily. It's rare that you find daily and weekly. But for interest sake, if it says daily, it means that your M is equals to 365 days. 365 times in 1 year. So all these values, they complete 1 year because annually is 1 year. Semi-annually, there are 2 halves in a year. So it's between January to June, from July to December. Therefore, it's semi-annually. Then quarters, we have got 4 quarters in 1 year. That is why local school or term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4. So there are 4 quarters in a year. Then monthly, we've got 12 months in 1 year. We have got 52 weeks in 1 year, and we have got 365 days in 1 year. So all these values, they represent a year. Now, because now we understand each and every element that is here, we know that we can now transform our formulas. Say, for example, on a simple interest. Which is A equals to P into 1 plus or minus I. We said that I is equals to R over 100 multiplied by M. So our Robia R over 100 multiplied by M. Multiply. Kana relay N is the same as T multiplied by M. So our Morobonang, because we are using this formula, we are going to transform this formula. So Moroboning I. I R over 100 multiplied by M. But then we also have multiply. What is our N? We said that our N, R, our N is equals to T multiplied by M. Therefore, our T multiplied by M. So if we want to expand our formula in that case, you can say T multiplied by M. It's still the same formula, just that now we expand it because we understand what is the meaning of I and then what is the meaning of N. But if you don't work it like this, it's still fine. You work it out the way in which you understand it better. So now we also have compound interest. Leonardo expander. But remember, this is just a guideline. We are not saying you are subjective to say or to use this formula. You use the formula that you understand. Therefore, A is equals to P into 1 plus or minus I to the power of N. Okay? This is our formula. So if we expand this, it means that as A equals to P into 1 plus minus R over 100 multiplied by M exponent T multiplied by M. So this formula and this are the same. And on your formula, can I plus or minus? So a positive tells you about appreciation. And negative tells you about depreciation. That is why I said the value of money can either increase or decrease. It can either appreciate or depreciate. That is why one plus or minus, plus or minus. So now, formula how using simple interest, any other thing. It means that this one, it tells you about appreciate. Appreciate. If they just say simple interest, what's the worry is appreciate. And if they say straight line appreciation, or sometimes they will say straight line depreciate. What's the worry? Once Vashimisha appreciate is going to increase is positive. Once Vashimisha the word depreciate is going to decrease, therefore is negative. If Vashimisha the word higher purchase is the same as depreciate. It means that the value is going to decrease. Therefore, a decrease the formula will be negative mohar, not positive, but we're now going to use the negative. And compound interest appreciates. Whenever you are investing using a compound interest, it means that your value is appreciating. But reducing balance, book value, and scrap value. Check out fella Jonachi. There is a depreciation. They depreciate, therefore, or shimisha formula waling the negative, or wala positive way, or shimisha this one a negative. So that is how the positive and the negative are going to be used. Now, I want us to check an activity. Re wonorna re apply the formulas that we have now. Let's call this our activity number 1. Okay, on activity number 1, it says that Tato invest 900. Tato invest 9,000 at an interest rate of 6% per annum using simple interest for 4 years. Calculate the value of money that Tato will get after 4 years. Now here we have Tato, who is investing 9,000 at an interest rate of 6% per annum using simple interest for 4 years. There's a full stop there. Calculate the value of money that Tato will get after 4 years. Now, The statement, it tells you that Thato invest. So invest is a present tense. So it means it's something that is still to or something that is happening at the current moment. So if an action is taking place at the present value or the present tense, what are more? You are calculating something that this person is going to get in future. So why investor? O investor o tshwere bokae? O investor o tshwere bokae? 9,000. Ka rate ya bokae? Ka the rate of 6% per annum. O shumisha which method? O shumisha the simple interest method. For how many years? 4 years. Now they say calculate the value of money that Thato will get after 4 years. Now, because it is clear or it shows that Thato is using a simple interest, it means that we are going to the formula for the simple interest. But now we need to understand each and every element. 1 plus or minus I n. So I mentioned earlier that if the formula says plus or minus, you check using what? The simple interest. It means that if you're using the simple interest, it means that you will not have a negative, but you're going to use a positive. Now, what is it that we have on this statement? We are calculating the value of money that Thato will get after. Future value. It means that A is what we are calculating. But P is the value of money that Thato has and wants to invest, which is 9,000. And our rate, the rate is given in percentage, or 6%. Therefore, what is your period? We said that T is equals to 4 years. Now, in this case, what is our M? It says per annum. PA is per annum. It means that is 1 year. It means that this investment is going to accumulate the interest once in a year. So now when we substitute here, we will have 9,000, 1 plus, we set our we said that I is equals to R over 100 multiplied by M. Now I want to break down this. Percentage, 6%, so 6 over 100. 6 over 100 is the same as 6%. So it means that already the 100 part, or the 6 part, the percentage part, which is 100. So the only thing that is left for us is to write the 6 on top where there is R. So 6 over 100. But how much is our M? Our M is multiplied by 1. And now multiply, we said that N is equals to T multiplied by M. How much is our T? Is 4. How much is our M? Is 1. Therefore, our N is going to be 4. Then we can write 4 there. Okay. Now, when we press this on a calculator, we find that 9,000 1 plus 6 over 100 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 1 is still 100 multiplied by 4 there. When we say equal sign, it says that the value of A is 11,160. So this means that if you put 9,000 at an interest rate of 6% per annum using simple interest, you will, for a period of 4 years, you're only going to get 11,160,000. I mean 11,160 rands at the end of the 4th year. So this will be your accumulated amount. Is your accumulated value. So hence we say the accumulated value is the value of money that you're going to get at the end of the investment period. Okay, now I want us to do activity number 2. So on activity number 2, let's take the very same Tato. Tato now invest the same amount of 9,000 at an interest rate of 6%. 6% per annum compounded annually. For 4 years. Calculate Tato's value after 4 years. Now we took the very same statement, but now we changed something here. Is that on activity 2, Tato still invest 9,000 at the very same rate, which is 6% per annum, compounded annually. But now it means that we have introduced a term which is compounded. It is compounded what? Annually. If you remember, when I did my explanation, I indicated that they can say per annum, which is PA, or annually. When they say annually and per annum and yearly, it means that our M is the same as 1. So now, if we have that, because there is a term compounded, that term that says compounded is an indication that you are going to use a compound interest rate. So meaning that we have A is equals to P, 1 plus I to the power of N. Why do we use this formula? Because there is a term compounded. Now, how much is our amount to be invested? Is 9,000. 1 plus. Kana we set our I, if you check here, our I is going to be 6 over 100 multiplied by M. But here it says annually. And we say that once it says annually, it means that our M is equals to 1. Now it means that we can say in place of I, Ramwala, 6 over 100 multiplied by 1, close bracket. Instead of N, we're going to write 4 multiplied by 1. Agree, remember we said N is the same as T multiplied by M. But our period is 4 years. How many times in a year does your investment gain rates? I mean the interest rates? Once, because it says annually. Now when we press this on a calculator, the investment at the end of the period of 4 years will be 11,362,29. Therefore, it means that the interest rate, the accumulated amount of money will be 11,362 rand and 29 cents. If we compare with the very same information, if you decide to invest your money using simple interest, you're going to get 11,160. But if you take the very same amount of money for the same period at the same rate, you're going to get 11,362 rand and 29 cents. So meaning that the compound interest gives you more as compared to simple interest. But it's not always the case because it depends on the length of the investment. If your investment is very short, you might find that the rate here, the value using the simple interest is more than the value using the compound interest. But as time extends, the compound interest is going to be more than the simple interest. So we took the same information, right? Treat simple interest, is treat compound interest, just to have a view of if you use compound interest and the simple interest, which method is suitable to give you more money, and then which one is going to give you less, and which one can you choose when you do your investment. So here Tato will definitely choose the compound interest as compared to the simple interest. So I will also post other questions that we also need to do on the next lesson. Please hit the subscription button and then like the videos. Make sure that you ring the bell there so that every time when a video is posted, you get the notification. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.